unbelievable. What I love about competitive Fortnite is the players around it. Everyone's so nice. Those people are really humble. I don't really feel any pressure on me. I just really focus on this moment and this tournament, and hopefully I do good and bring back home one of the best Fortnite players in the world. I'd like to thank my parents, my brothers especially, and also the viewers that stuck up to me and who are loyal to me, because they're like the only ones that supported me throughout this whole journey. And I just like to thank all of them.
It's so nice to see someone just so grateful to be in the position, but continue striving forward to what was originally seen in the skirmishes, but now wants to perform on the main stage. On to our next group, representing out of NA East, NA West, and Brazil. We have Dracons, Rogue Shark, Colorful, Mega, Bucky, Class, Rux, Pizzas, and Estates.
I just want to talk about Bucky because I know we've talked about it a lot. I know we've talked about on broadcast that video of him qualifying, his dad in the background coaching him, and he's here today by himself. He has performed on the stage before back at the summer block party. He did quite well there and had a good time on the stage, so we'll see. That was a little bit of a less competition. It was for charity. This today is for $15 million total.
And he's going to want to be pushing the pace, particularly against players like this. Class, extremely analytical, keeps a notebook with him at all times and wants to break down his opponent's interaction. We got to see a little bit from Rux and his baseball-playing grandfather during the pre-show. He has that competitive bones in his body. He was there every single week, and Mega, great performance again yesterday. Colorful, the one we got to interview on Mother's Day, and he was told, hey, I had to make a deal to even get playing time on the weekends, and now he's going to be on the main stage.
I also, going back to Mega real quick, because he had one of the most memorable moments from yesterday's games when he was playing with Dubs. We actually eliminated Mitro and Mongrel, one of the biggest duos in Fortnite in EU, and that was crazy to be able to do with that mechanical skill, the speed that he did that.
And he barely even reacted. Now, one player, normally, Bala, you and I are very good about going through, breaking these down, knowing their stories. I know very little about Pizzas. It's so hard to find information on. We've got to go through the VOD reviews, but he is somebody in one of the few true wild cards, and I'm very interested to see what happens when you run into him. And now we're going to actually get a chance to talk with Zate, who we saw him and Saf have an amazing performance yesterday. Let's see what he's feeling ahead of the competition. Jordan, what do you have for us?
You are not wrong, Sundown. One of the best and most dominant duo players standing right next to me in Zate. Zate, you dominated yesterday. It's very clear to absolutely everybody. Claiming that #1 slot for 5 of the 6 games. Obviously, it's Fortnite. RNG happens. Right, but again, going into in-game, you two staying together, locking down high ground, that's ultimately what secured the dub. What was your mentality going into duos yesterday?
So we kept the same mentality, same strategies for every single game. After the 3 games, the 3 first games, we had 38 points, so we were really confident. So we didn't change anything. A lot of unfortunate things happened, so we finished with 6 points in the last 3 games. We got 4th. After being first for 5 games in a row, we really want to win it. So it's not kind of bad, but still.
Understandable. I mean, at the end of the day, though, Fortnite, this is the biggest payouts, right? Like, we're seeing some amazing payouts here. 4th place is still very much a win, I would think, to a lot of people. Now, going into the solos tournaments today, obviously you've been performing very consistently over the course of the last year of Fortnite comps. You're faced up against a lot of incredibly talented players from regions all over the world, and there's a lot of different play styles here. What's your mentality going into some of these fights?
For solos, I'm going to play like I've been playing for the past year. I'm going to be confident because I play best when I'm confident.
Absolutely. Well, we see this confidence. We're going to see it again today on Real Island. What do you have next for us?
Thank you so much, Jordan. And what's surprising to me there is Zate. I mean, it's not surprising at all, actually. He's a true competitor. He placed in 4th place yesterday, and he's very disappointed about that. You can see it on his face.
Definitely felt it wasn't good enough. He said, hey, we wanted it all. We wanted the top spot. With Zate, we've seen it in the past. That means he's going forward. But now on to our next group, because these competitors are here to also challenge for the top spot. We have Link, Peter Pan, Leshy, Yarkos, Lucia, Mr. Savage, Snazy, Smeek, Blaster, and Issa.
the beginning of this group that you mentioned, Leshy, one of the most amazing controller players I've ever seen out of Germany, and he was so methodical and so good at the end game. It was unbelievable. The tunneling skills and able to be so aware. I can't be more impressed by Leshy.
Yes, and even in the qualification round, he said, hey, I got the spot. He was almost the first controller qualifier to get in, missed it by 1 place, and that next week when he came back to back solo trap eliminations to just flex on the entirety of Europe. Also rounding out the group, something we saw yesterday was Lucia. He's going to have the time to be on the stage as well as Mr. Savage. They're there, but let's talk about the other controller player making his first trip over here. It is Ghost Issa, the original controller gang, and we had a chance to talk with him ahead of the competition. Let's hear what he had to say.
So I qualified for solos in week 5. It's been 10 stressful weeks, a lot of ups and downs, but it's been pretty good. When I qualified, I was so happy. I had a rough 10 games. I think I played 5 games out and died like 4 times off spawn. So I was so happy when I qualified. I instantly called my mom and was like, hey, I qualified. I think it's nice that they open qualifiers, so literally everyone can qualify. You can be 13 and win millions of dollars, and just everyone's really chill. New York is way different. Like even in the air, everything is so much different. The traffic, but I love it. Meeting everyone has been the nicest part. My advice would be just keep grinding. That's where you get better. Watch better player play, like watch Mongols, boss, whatever, and just keep grinding. That's the only way you can make it.
What an incredible story coming out of Issa, looking to represent and looking to do as much damage as possible. You know he's here to take names. Now on to the next group, where you have a lot of what I would consider dark horse contenders. Very talented players you don't hear enough about. It's Nyx, King, Clarity G, Astonished, Lunez, Chenkis, Batch, Pika, Storm, and Reverse 2K.
I just want to point out, Astonish's outfit is unbelievably incredible. He has slippers on that have claws on it.
No, those aren't slippers. He's in a full onesie and it has the jersey over. You can check him out on Twitter. Also known for one of the coolest flintlock plays you've ever seen. One of my favorite balls. But also have to talk about Nyx and King. They were both playing yesterday in the duels. Didn't necessarily get the results they wanted, but they're both known as much stronger individual players. They play much better when they're able to go crazy and do the game plan that they want to do.
Yeah, and at the bottom right there, you see Storm, also known as 4DR Storm. He's one of the players who fully qualified for both solos and duos, and even with his duo partner Epic Whale later on. We do also have Reverse 2K on the bottom half of this group. He is on the floor with Jordan Fisher. What do you got?
Standing next to me is Reverse 2K.
Ce qui est là, vous dites qui gagne.
In terms of his aim, his building sense, his speed, everything about his gameplay is one that I love and look up to personally, and I think for a lot of people here as well. Now, you've already told us that you're dropping pressure, which is where you dropped in your qualifying week, which is a very smart move, I think, in my opinion. Now, are you planning on keeping a strict rotation schedule? Are you going to be able to be flexible?
We're gonna be able to flex more. I know Ninja and I duo spot is Lagoon, so that's my hometown, so we might drop there.
Very comfortable there. Mat up really quickly with some wood right there, those masks. Now, another thing that I love about you, Reverse, you're so vocal and so confident in social media, and a lot of people are supporting you and loving you, very much behind you in this journey. How does it feel to have so much support from Fortnite fans and others that are watching your streams and so forth?
It feels amazing. This Fortnite game is definitely a mental game. If you lose your mind, you're going to lose the game, so a lot of sport helps.
Absolutely. Well, we love you, man. I'm excited to see you perform today. Bala, Sundown, who's next?
Thank you so much, Jordan. A lot of people from home rooting for Reverse 2K. He's made quite a fan base, and a lot of people supporting him. We're going to continue forward back in the stadium. We do have our next group, Huche, Arius. We also have our one of Duo's champion from yesterday. It's Aqua, and then Martine, Irus, Robabs, Skylar, Kinstar, and Kinzel.
And we can't forget about Flexi and the X2 twins rounding out the group there, but all eyes are on Aqua, and deservedly so. Nyrock said yesterday, hey, we won because Aqua is a beast. Aqua and his enemy said, we're just gonna win. And what did he say last night afterward? He's like, you know, might around, mess around, and win solos as well. He is about it, and he is that skilled. But another player who has that very similar attitude is Eros, somebody who is a controller player, swapped over from console to PC, and I had one fan particularly reach out. He's like, hey, I watch him all the time. He doesn't care about anyone else. Whoever is going, he is flying at them. He wants to be known as one of the most skilled players out there, and then you have to talk about Keemstar.
And at the bottom of that list there, we also have Flexi, who played yesterday in the duos competition. One of the actual fully qualified duos with his partner Letwick, who's playing as well. He's just amazing. His qualifying run actually was one of the most mechanically skilled things I've ever seen, but also what a struggle it was. He had so many setbacks in that week that he qualified that I almost thought that he wasn't going to make it. It was going to be one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever seen.
But he was able to clutch up in the end and get to his spot. You see plenty of French representation coming out there. Of course, Keemstar been around from the very beginning, able to compete on the stage as well. Robob's up there, and then we have to talk about the X2 twins. Jordan representing down south, known originally as one of the first veterans out there. We're going to toss it to a quick little video to see kind of what they're all about and what they were thinking about going into the competition.
I'm twins, and I'm from Brisbane, Australia. I've played LAN, I've played online, I've played the Australian Open, I've played at Poland internationally. I really like LANs. It's a different setting because there's people actually watching you as opposed to just people watching online. I think I'm definitely getting better with it with the more LANs I do. It doesn't really sink in until you actually land here and you get here like, oh, I'm actually in New York. It is definitely a cool experience. I like to listen to music before I play and try and treat it as if I was at home just playing any other scrim. You've got to put work into it. Sometimes you might have to get a little bit lucky with like qualifying and stuff. Like that's a part of it, but you can create your own luck through grinding and just hard work. It's really cool meeting the people and like experiencing it with them and learning from each other. People that can keep their calm, they definitely come.
C'est ouf quoi. Parlez, punaise. Et jouez quoi.
Jordan going to be doing everything he can to push
Oui, allez,
at
jouez.
the top. And now we're into the qualifiers who qualified in the final week. The week 9 was the last chance qualifiers. When everything was on the line, they made it here. It's Clipnote, Cosmic, Tuzi, Aspect, Hornet, Creo, Legedian, Harrians, Evil Mare, and Arkram 1X.
Clipnote, one of the players out of Brazil, who, you know, he was there every single week, just in the top 10, not quite reaching that final top 1 spot, which is how many spots are up per week for Brazil. But he finally did it in the final week. That shows he is clutch.
Yes, the Argentinian was all about it, and we have to talk about Aspect. Him and Anna were the original favorites going into the qualifiers, kind of slid off the pace a little bit, had to swap up their drop spot. In the final week, he rocketed up in the lead with 60 points, but the issue was he finished his games early. Everyone else had an extra half hour. He had to sit there watching the leaderboard for an hour, but when all was said and done, he got the final spot. He'll be playing on that stage, and he'll be looking to take everyone's walls.
That 17 elimination game to qualify was definitely memorable from Aspect, but Arkram 1X also had a memorable performance yesterday in the duo finals. We're going to go ahead and catch up with him on the floor.
Dominant performance from Arkram for sure. Standing next to me here, another one of the most talented. I mean, I say this over and over again. It's because I'm surrounded by the best Fortnite players literally in the entire world. Definitely one of them here, repping the NA West. Over there, a lot of psycho players. Now, Arkram, you qualified for the World Cup in the first week of duos and in the last week of solos. Your preparation for both of these things definitely is very different. How have you prepared in comparison to yesterday, claiming that 5th spot, which was unbelievable, guys? Preparing for solos today is very different. How have you strategized for this?
Well, I try to prepare my mentality a lot better than yesterday, and I know what it's going to be like going in today, other than like tomorrow, because yesterday was like my first time playing at a LAN. Yeah. So I know what I have to do, and I know what I'm going to do to try to win today.
Absolutely. Well, that composure is everything, right? I mean, that can really help you dominate in that way. Now, again, repping NA West out there in LA for me. Listen. Your qualification both in duos and solos, you're the only person from NA West that was able to do that. What do you have to say to the rest of the West?
I mean, like, if you guys get a brain on the West Coast, I mean, like, it'll be a lot easier, you know, but otherwise, yeah. That's all you gotta do.
We gotta get a brain. Okay, I'm gonna come to Arkham School. Back to you guys on Unreal Island.
Well, I might also go to Arkham School. That was definitely interesting there.
Could say Galaxy Brain there from Arkham, you know, just get a brain going on there looking to represent. But now the final group of competitors, it will be Sosman, Moffin, Andretta, Crew, Light, Mongrel, MQ, Teak, Blacks, and Skite.
And I like the little dab there from Blacks. Absolutely incredible. Again, remember, these are the guys who qualified in the final week. And I do have to point out, Andretta was one of the players who did so. What an amazing performance it was. One of the few players who was streaming his final week, and he did it in an amazing fashion.
Winning 3 out of his first 5 games. He actually took a moment after that on the stream, kind of you could see him deep breath in, deep breath out, and kind of know he had it. He kept pushing forward. We got to see Crew yesterday, had some highlight reel plays, but wasn't quite able to push into the top 10. Going to want to do that today. But Bala, you know on this list who I want to talk about right now, right?
Yes, I do.
Let's hear it. What do you got for Mr. Mongrel himself?
Mongrel. What more? I mean, there's literally so much. I could talk about this guy forever. One of the most mechanically skilled players I have ever seen. So fast with his decisions, you really can't keep up. Sometimes I even have to watch him in slow motion because it's just so ridiculously fast.
And you could see his reactions on the camera, how much he cares, how much he is invested, how much he wants to be the best of the best, just as does Skite, the player from the stream, overcoming tendonitis in his wrist, qualifying through. We're going to throw it down to the floor with Jordan and a translator to catch up and hear what Skite has to say. Jordan, take it away.
Standing next to Skite here, dealing with tendonitis is a very, very big thing, especially ahead of a competition of this caliber. How have you prepared physically going into today?
Avec un concours de cette nature, il y a beaucoup évidemment d'ambition et de comment est-ce que vous gérez un peu la situation?
Je m'entraîne et j'essaye de pas stresser et je reste concentré en jouant.
I train, I try not to be too stressed out, and I just, think about the game.
Understood, as you should. Now, you have a lot of LAN experience and a lot of success in online tournaments as well. Your preparation for today, knowing that you're going up against a bunch of the best players in the world, regions all over the world, how are you strategizing for solos today?
Tu es un des meilleurs joueurs du monde, tu as beaucoup d'expérience, etc. Mais en même temps, ça, c'est une compétition nouvelle. Comment est-ce que tu t'es organisé pour la stratégie de cette Coupe du Monde?
J'essaie juste de jouer mon jeu et de ne pas stresser. Et j'essaie de m'adapter à la méta actuelle. Et voilà.
I try not to stress out, I try to sleep well, eat well, and I try to think how I'm going to really play the game.
Lovely. And that allows you composure, right? Then you can dominate. Love it, Skype. Back to you guys at Unreal Island.
Thank you so much, Jordan and Skite. Skite, originally known for his Winter Royale performance where he was top the qualifier, top the semifinal, and then top the final. It put him on the map, and now he's here competing on the main stage, which is set for everyone who is here. But all of you guys at home, make sure you're using Fortnite.com/watch. Go check the website out. It is a more kind of tailored viewing experience. There's the ability to unlock additional items in-game. And on top of that, for somebody who's super analytical, there's a map stream. There's an individual player stream. You want to see the spotlighted players, Tfue or Dubs, they'll be on there. You want to see the best players from Asia, they'll be on there. Best players from Brazil, they'll be on there. Make sure you go and utilize this tool. Whether you're trying to get better at Fortnite or just want to watch what you want to watch, we want to give you every possible potential way to increase your viewing experience. And let us know if there's anything else you want added in there. We're always looking to improve because we're lining in stats. We got the map. I mean, what more could you want as an analyst, Paula?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely going to check it out when I get home. I'm going to go back and watch those because I need to see every little detail for some of these guys who are going to perform on this stage. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy, and I can't wait to do that.
I mean, this is what is going to allow these guys to push up into the prizing. I mean, just look at some of those numbers. Of course, everyone who made it here, $50,000 going through. But once you push into that top group, you'll start seeing a little bit of a pay bump. But ultimately, at the top, it's about the $3 million. It's about being the best of the world and being crowned the world champion solo baller. This is what it's all about.
This is what it's all about. We're moments away from getting inside the stage and getting ready to launch the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition.
100 of the best players, every single one is be here. Are you ready for the Fortnite World Cup Finals? Let's start the show!
Yo, Atsushi, comment vas-tu, frérot? What? What? Il se passait quoi? Ah. Comment vas-tu, Atsushi? Frérot, tu dis qui va gagner? Oh les frérots, ça va commencer. Oh, ça va commencer les frérots. Atsushi, qu'est-ce que tu dis qui va gagner? Bien toi, ah ouais, ça va tranquille. Tu dis qui va gagner, frérot? Tu dis qui va gagner, frérot? Moi, je dis Kingstar. Allez, soyons fous. Oh oui! DJ Marshmello, les frérots. LOL. Oh là là, c'est incroyable, incroyable. Marshmello. Non, je plaisante. Ah, ceci, tu en penses quoi du overlay? Ça va, non? Le petit truc écrit en haut, le petit truc en bas, ça va, non? Yo, Miti, comment vas-tu, frérot? Comment vas-tu? Oh, bienvenue à toi. Oh, ça fait longtemps, frérot. Ça fait extrêmement longtemps. Ça dit quoi un peu les refs là? Ça dit quoi un peu? T'as dit, je pense quoi, oui. J'ai dit, tu en penses quoi du overlay? Ouais, Miti. Ouais, ça, j'ai dit, qu'est-ce que tu penses de l'overlay? Ouais, si. Ouais, vous en pensez quoi un petit peu l'overlay? Après, c'est Dokkan.
Yo, I just want to say thank you to Fortnite, thank you to Epic Games for having me out today. If you guys know this next song, let me hear you sing along. Let's go.
Il est plutôt certain. Ah, merci. Hein. Allez, biche qui... Mimiche, Atsushi qui va gagner. Allez, Atsushi. Non, je plaisantais. Hein. Non, en vrai, vraiment faux. Hein. Non. On dit qui va gagner. Moi je dis comment s'appelle lui, Kingstar. En vrai le concert il est bien. Hein. Faut pas se mentir, le combo 5 mais regarde-moi, c'est stylé. Là on peut pas dire que c'est nul. Là c'est extrêmement cool. Yo, Wistiti Man, comment vas-tu frérot? Ouais, ça fait longtemps frérot, comment vas-tu? Ouais, ça va tranquille, hein. Comme tu vois là on va regarder le match là. Comment ça s'appelle le tournoi? Le tournoi solo. Tu vois, tu dis qui va gagner frérot? Lettre de motivation. Ah lol. Mais qui va faire une lettre de motivation frère? Dis-moi. Qui va faire une lettre de motivation? Non franchement frérot, qui vous dit qu'il va gagner? Moi je dis qui c'est tout. Après vous dis-moi qui vous pensez qu'il va gagner?
Let's go.
Je sais même pas qui joue NBA. Ah ouais. T'es chaud toi? Tu sais même pas qui joue. Ouais, attends, la qualité est bizarre là.
I just want to say thank you again to Fortnite and good luck to all the players today competing. Have a good day. Thank you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Ash Stadium, this packed house. Ladies and gentlemen, give yourselves a round of applause for being here with us today. Without you, this is not possible. But now it's all about these players up on this stage. And this, right here, the trophy and the title of being
Désolé.
Fortnite World Champion. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm
Désolé
excited. I
frérot,
want to get
ça a
into this
bugué.
game as soon as possible.
L'OBS a
But I think we
craché.
gotta ramp up the
Là,
excitement
il supporte
just a
trop là.
little bit more.
Ouais, il supporte l'overlay, tout et tout, c'est chaud. Hein. Du coup, tu vois, c'est pour ça. Bon, là, ça va commencer, les frérots. Même pas, mais... Allez, vas-y, jouez, les frérots. Ça prend du temps. Hein.
When you think about what's at stake here for these players, so much on the line. And we crowned 2 Fortnite World Champions yesterday, but that was duos competition. And today, these people are riding solo. And it's about that trophy, being able to raise this right in front of everyone here in New York City and walking away with $3 million in prizes. History will be made, lives will change. Now, I know that you guys want to hear from some of our players as well, and there's one player in particular that I think each and every person in this arena wants to hear from. Jordan, who do you got?
The legend, the man, the myth.
Yo, Léna,
I want my vest back, by the way,
comment
guys.
vas-tu, frérot?
Sitting next to me, I mean, you guys know him. He needs no
Comment
introduction.
vas-tu,
He's
Léa?
pretty
Léna,
decent at the
j'aime
game of
bien.
Fortnite. He's like fine, I guess.
Léana.
I don't know, 1v1 maybe
Comment vas-tu?
creative. We'll see. what happens, right? But knowing that you're as good as you are, right, and your skills, your gifts, your game sense, your speed, your dexterity, your precision, all of these things that I'm sure a lot of people are very fearful of, there are a lot of incredibly young, gifted talents that are up here on the stage right now from all over the world. How do you prepare for all of these different game styles?
Basically, how I prepare is just stream to all of my beautiful viewers, and they stream snipe me, and I get rushed by like 30 people every game. So if I can handle that, then I can handle anything, right?
I have seen it happen in real time. It's insane. I don't know how you do it. You got a long way, to get to the end, but obviously vying for that number one slot. How was your strategy working out going into your drop spot today? Your rotation, are you going to be flexible? What are your thought processes going into today, knowing that you're up against some of the best players in the world?
My drop spot's pretty good. I have some people contest me, but I just lay them out and then move on from there.
Lay them out, move on. 350 pot, there it is, from the man himself. Back to you, GB.
Thank you once again, Jordan, for that. Now we're going to get into the games here. Yesterday we hyped up nicely, and I think we can do it again. This is it. This is for this community. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Courage and Dr. Lupo.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. The Fortnite World Cup Finals Solos competition kicks off today, and I could not be more excited. I'm still sweating from the marshmallow performance we just saw, but absolutely. Dr. Lupo, this is going to be a darn good time. 100 of the best solo players the world has ever seen in Fortnite are today playing for $15 million in check. First place takes home $3 million, which is the largest individual prize for any player in esports ever up until this point. You realize that? That is ridiculous. It's a pretty long history. Lives will be changed today, as we know. It's been happening throughout the weekend, and we've seen the best competitors in the world go up in creative, obviously in the pro-am, in the solos duos competition, and now it is time for solos. We're going to go through the format, the prizing for everyone at home so you can get caught up to speed. Millions tuned in throughout the weekend so far, and even more we'll be watching here today. So Ben, I want to break down these rules for everyone at home. It's not your normal Fortnite game we're going to be playing. Oh, no, it is not. Especially if you've watched any competitive gameplay over the past. On your screen right now is the format. This is solo, so the top 25 placement will get you 3 placement points. Top 15 is 5. If you make it all the way to the top 5, that's 7 points. And that coveted Victory Royale, of which there will only be 6 today, is worth 10 points. But on top of that, it's not just about placement. Every single elimination is an additional point. Those are going to add up, and we're going to see exactly how things play out over 6 games. Yep. Those 6 games, we add those scores up. Jack, what's the take home? I know, just read. Ladies and gentlemen, first place today wins $3 million US. If you get second, third, or fourth, your prize money you're winning is also above the 1 million mark. Hey, I'm going to be too upset with fifth place either at 900 grand, but you see, top 20 all earn $112,500 or more. And guess what? Just as they made it here today, everyone on the stage, right there, the Covenant Trophy on your screen and the title of Fortnite World Champion, the first ever solo.
Ça bug un coup, ça revient un coup, ça bug un coup,
You
ça
have to
revient
remember
un
too,
coup.
over the course of the 10 weeks of
C'est relou. Voilà, c'est relou.
qualifiers, we had 40 million players throw their name in the pot to try and make their way to the top 100 here in New York City. And of those 100, only one gets first place. Only one takes home the trophy. And I'm going to say this. This is mine just from watching him play over the last few days. Duos didn't go exactly how he wanted things to go, but I'm looking forward to see Benji Fishy rise above and just put out a good show for everybody. He's an excellent player. One of the best mechanically we've ever seen. His awareness is insane. What about you? Who do you have, Jack? There's so many talented players. We compare drop spots. We compared how they performed yesterday. We talked about land experience and how much the nerves can get to them.
Ah, c'est sûr, je touche plus
Someone that
rien.
showed up
Aucun
yesterday on stage,
bouton,
performed quite well,
rien.
placing in the top 5. I think that today, with where he's dropped at, who he's going to be going up against, he could
Il
put out a
arrive
good
sur mon
showing,
OBS,
but we want to hear your
il
guys'
bug
thoughts
un
as
coup, tu
well.
vois.
Hashtag Fortnite
Il arrive
World Cup.
0.
Send us
C'est
your
chiant,
thoughts.
tu
Who
vois.
do you predict to win? We've also talked to many of the people here in the venue about who they've got coming out on top. Let's take a look.
Il prend trop aussi, il prend pas trop du temps aussi, frère. Trop du temps à commencer.
My pick to win solos has gotta be this guy.
C'est normal, lui, ça doit aussi.
I want to see Veggie Fish take
Prends 100 ans juste pour lancer un tournoi.
Tifu's gonna win.
It's gonna be between.
Place-moi ses rêves et puis c'est tout, quoi.
Probably Bizzle because he has the most experience.
À un moment donné, il faut se poser. On prend du temps, quoi.
Tifu's gonna win.
Fact Fox. Je pense que le solo, c'est Belgique.
Pourquoi il lance pas? Lance-moi direct ce match et puis c'est tout. On lance le jeu et puis c'est fini, on parle plus.
I'd probably say Bizzle too because he has a lot of LAN experience and all that.
My prediction for the solo World Cup champion is Dubs.
People continuing to pile on in here to the Arthur Ashe Stadium live from New York City. Dr. Lupo, our games are almost ready to kick things off, but there's so many ways you can watch this weekend, obviously. But a new initiative as well from Fortnite, a new way to watch on Fortnite.com/watch. There's some unique stats as well as all sorts of feeds you can watch from. It's a viewing experience of real-time stats and different points of view in game. At Fortnite.com/watch and choose from this channel a dedicated map channel and 10 rotating options covering a selection of diverse players. You see there on your screen exactly who we brought on up. If you want E3 features team player spotlight. If you're repping the Oceania region and you want to see the Twins play, you want to see Twins play, there you go. You've got your dedicated feed as well. Awesome thing to see future competitor.
It's absolutely amazing, but Jack, everybody here wants to see the first game, and I've got good news. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition is about to begin. If you are here at Arthur Ashe Stadium, I need you to get as loud as you possibly can. 100 of the best players in the entire world are about to face off for 15
Ah non, c'est la rediff, non? Ouais, c'est la rediff.
Jack, guess what?
Ah non, ça va commencer.
100 players,
Oui,
the battle bus is loaded. 6, 5, 4, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Allez! Allez!
Game 1 of 6 officially underway, and on your screen, all 100 players. Arguably the biggest day of their entire lives. The average age of competitors, just 16 years old. If you're a younger fan here in the audience, you dream of one day being here. If you're the same age, you look to your peers as people to look up to and aspire to be as good as one day. If you're a parent, I'm sure you can imagine what's going through these kids' minds. Here we go, folks. Tifu on your screen. Block has been his place forever, Dr. Lupo, and he is not shying away here in game number 1.
I had a chance earlier during warm-ups just talk to Tifu about this landing zone. The opinion was basically, I don't care who else lands here, I'm going to take it. I'm going to clear out every other opponent there and roll on through. He's got a chance to go up the hill potentially for ballers if those remain uncontested. He has a free legendary chest right here in the middle. Look at the inventory already. Blue pump shotgun, gold tactical AR, gold standard AR, amazing bandages. He's got brick for days here.
Allez la France, allez.
Loadout already. He just needs some mobility.
On est avec vous. Allez la France, allez la France. Et nous allons gagner.
Actually puts down that tech AR and grabs a purple grenade launcher.
And his own right there as well. Oh my God. Only one other player land here, that's Clipnode. So it's going to be Tifu versus Clipnode for control of the block, unless Clipnode decides to say,
rotate away.
I've got a lot of respect for that gameplay. He knows block as well. Clipnode always landing here too, will go ahead and fall away. And folks, I think as a sign of respect for Tifu as a player, they have forfeited the rest of block to this man, as he's already at 190 total HP and a fantastic inventory. Rotating here towards Fatal Fields. Class on your screen. Bucky there as well. Class currently with a little bit of a mixed inventory, but this is what we talked about yesterday. If you play Fortnite, you know that in the Fatal Fields core maze, there is loot. Well, guess what?
Just floor spawns all over.
Typically, you and I, I'm sure, Ben, break all the corn down. We farm it on up. these players know the exact route of where the loot is while it's hidden in the corn because they've studied this area of the map so much. It's the little things that make the biggest differences. Class right now looting and no one has any clue where he is.
Lucky in the long barn, grabbing. There's 2 chests spawn here, plus any of the floor loot possible along the way. Little side stalls, so quite a bit of wood to farm up. He's got a couple little forests. He's got the fork knife quarry there, plus the ship up top. He can take that slip all the way to the top. He's got an opportunity to travel basically uncontested early game, unless somebody maybe gets a couple shots from a distance. Meanwhile, over here at Mega Mall, Pika and Keenstar hanging out inside the shops. Quite a few chests, a lot of verticality inside. Tends to lead to audio-based fights and try and figure out whether your opponent is above or below and how much these players play. If they're keen on those audio cues, they'll know almost immediately.
Rotating now down to Lucky landing. Bugon range. Snazy there as well. First stink bomb coming on through. Doesn't actually wind up connecting with too much. 16 builds in total. Now remember, we do play with siphon settings on. So if you get an elimination, you earn 50 HP. So if you're at 74 total health, you'll gain 26 HP to go to max and 24 shield. Also, when you get the elimination, even if the opponent has 0 materials, they'll still drop 50 of each material type. So there's a lot of, especially early game reward, Dr. Lupo, in securing some of these eliminations.
Now Snazy right now with the top down on his opponent. Use the stinks and that proximity grenade launcher just to try and find even one hit. Which at this point with such low ammunition, he's out of stinks now. He still has the 3 proximity grenade launcher shots. He's kind of burning through resources.
I was gonna say, he sees those grenades. I was thinking exactly that, yep.
Well, just trying to find a bead at this point. He knows based on the audio. Bugga is rotating back and forth in this little brick tunnel underneath. No tags quite yet, minus a little bit of HP with the stink earlier. Snazy still has the high ground here. Not a ton of materials, 18 builds. At some point, he's going to have to opt to either push this or rotate away, and now might be the time to rotate away, unless Bugga's going to push from behind. We'll see here. Big up.
Oh, wait, actually,
not
no,
even an upgrade. Never mind, he already has a gold combat number 4 slot there. Snazy, Bugga separating from each other a little bit, not necessarily pressuring. Early game pressure at game 1 of 6 for World Cup solos would be could be pretty advantageous to get that siphon. He's looking for a shot, the heavy snipe. Work goes, and not quite enough. Bugga misses just behind as Snazy sneaks away on the higher floors of that north side building and Lucky.
Yeah, Bugga winds up seeing that middle cherry blossom tree get knocked down, and a lot of times in competitive games, players will just hit the trees down to 50 total HP left, but they won't fully remove them from the map because the animation of the tree breaking gives away your position. So if you want to make sure you stay a little bit more hidden in your games at home, only break trees down to 50 total health left and leave them. You'll get a ton of materials, but you'll also still remain as hidden as possible. Benji Fishy, a player with very high expectations for not only himself, but from the community here this weekend. Did play yesterday, I believe placed 14th with his duo, Mr. Savage. The first stink bomb comes up through, and with that damage, it looks like Benji Fishy wants a fight, but unfortunately does take 50 immediately from the back, and will go ahead and just give up his position for the moment.
A little bit of frustration on his face, and I can't blame him. Shots as he's attempting to push a little bit on Nate right there. Pleasant Park still inside the safe zone, so moving away from this doesn't have to happen just yet. We'll see. Nate takes an opportunity, rotates all the way across to that treehouse building in the southwest. And now only 9 have gone down. It's early in the game. It's going to stay very, very high in the player count. Crew maybe waiting to see if that edit comes through. Doesn't quite. Storm waiting inside. We see this all the time. Just holding the edit inside the pyramid. Yep. He doesn't want to step out, potentially get shot. Rotate back down underneath and maybe check his other sides. Meanwhile, Kim into the air and does catch the shots there. The burst SMG proving useful even midair.
Burst SMG, probably not the exact item that players want, but still making use of it. Uh-oh, it's a corn fight. Dr. Lupo, you're used to this in Nebraska, as right now we've got
like home for me, Jack.
Yeah, this is, I mean, you've got a ton of skill in this one. as we see Rogue Shark currently dropping down the bandage for the moment. Already the ramp goes through, and Rogue Shark just wasn't ready for it, so he didn't catch what happened right there, Dr. Lupo. Quick little breakdown. The campfire was placed, he lost control of his wall, but because he had no pyramid inside his box, the opponent placed a ramp and then edited past the ramp for extra cover. It's one of the fastest but most effective ways to take out an opponent when they're inside their 1-by-1. Left Eye did just get an elimination, does use that shockwave to get away from Erouse, but solid start as well, and I believe I did just see a fan favorite in Vivid in the elimination feed picking up his first elim.
Storm starting to move. We have 56 seconds. My apologies before the next circle closes, and it is a big crunch to the center of the map. You might not be able to see in the bottom right there, but folks, it is just northeast centered from Neo tilted. Everyone is going to get pushed together into the city. Let's see here. Dubs. Confident play, trying to push from the outside of Flint, knock from his opponent to rotate away, and Dubs does not want to let them go. 46 back-to-back hits, and he can't find a bead on Evil Mare. Goes down out here at the old Greasy Grove Ice Lake.
And you see Evil Mare with still just in total about 80 HP. Got the 50 back for the elimination, so when you calculate it, really only had about 30 health left, so Dubs so close, but not able to connect with that final combat shotgun shot. And Dr. Lupo, look at this inventory for Riverson, for Team Liquid. 6 shockwave grenades, 2 minis, 3 chug splashes, a launch pad. Weapons a little bit awkward, if I'm going to be honest. Just a scoped assault rifle and a epic tactical shotgun. But Storm Surge is coming to play, and Dr. Lupo, we haven't really touched on that yet today. Inform the viewers at home as to exactly what this is.
So Storm Surge is a mechanic to prevent players from potentially sitting and not engaging in fights. If there are a certain number of players at this point, when there's over 70, when this circle closes, people are going to start to take 25 damage every tick. That's every 5 seconds, unless they are over the threshold for the amount of damage done in the lobby. It's a way to encourage players to get engaged in fights without having to force anybody. You can't really just sit still the entire time. You've got to get engaged, get involved with what's going on.
And it ends when we go below that threshold. Exactly. Bring up this first threshold, you have to drop below 70 players. So Storm Surge will remain in play right now until 69 players is reached. You see Booga with an elimination, Blaster with one as well. Players above the damage threshold sitting pretty right now, but players who are below it, they're frantically searching for some damage they can do to try to get themselves in a safe spot.
Aqua on your screen, one of the World Cup duo champions from yesterday, just outside of Dusty Divot. Shots inside here, Colorful trying to rotate back away, doesn't want to quite get caught just yet. Those splashes, by the way, one of the best healing items in the game right now in scrimmages and competitive Fortnite. An instant throw 20, and it's HP or shield that will transfer across both. May not be able to get this off quite yet. It's got to cancel.
He did.
Oh, he did indeed.
Yep.
Kurtz applying pressure from the side. Not a lot of ammunition right now in the inventory. Only 70 medium rounds for that heavy AR. Not the favorite for a spray weapon. Great at tap fire at a distance, though.
Look at how dead center this zone is in the bottom right of your screen. Mr. Savage did just get an elimination down on him often. Mr. Savage still alive in this one, looking to bounce back from yesterday. I know Mr. Savage wasn't too happy with the final performance. Kurtz still, we saw the player piece on him from Brazil, trying to rep for his family. Class with elimination there as well onto Twins. And Storm Surge is now active with the players still above. So people will begin taking damage, and that's a solid chunk with that common tactical shotgun. But another player begins to throw their name into the hat. Dr. Lupo, Kurtz, no more shield left. We'll back up for the moment.
At this point with the circle where it is, we've got 60 seconds before things start to close, and I would say maybe a third of the field is still outside of the next safe zone. You're going to see a lot of players pushing to Loot Lake. You have to realize, if you're watching at home, if you're here at Arthur Ashe Stadium, competitive Fortnite is very much about late game strategy and positioning. 74 players right now remaining does not surprise us in the slightest, to be honest, especially with how much money is on the line. Harrians goes down. Start picking up that one, but not enough damage dealt. You see the Storm Surge. 2 more players need to get eliminated.
I think he just got up now as players began to drop. So Wakey went down to the Storm, Skype with an elimination onto Astonish. So we are 1 player away from the end of Storm Surge, and there it is as we just hit the threshold. So now no more panic has to come through for these players for the moment. The next one will come into play in a couple more zones, as Keenstar right now, the double qualified player from France, currently set on up against Envy's Bucky, as they are within a couple boxes of each other.
Just going to see exactly where things move through here. Just want to hold these edits and look out. No reason to apply too much pressure just yet. He's kind of waiting to see other players that may be around him rotating away, and that's exactly the play. Bucky, by the way, a player that we've seen in competitive qualifiers. He actually spent some time talking to Hogman a lot to refine his gameplay and his drop. We've seen a big improvement since then. Big shout out to Hogman for helping Bucky out with that one. All the way here to the World Cup solo finals.
Will he use one of the campfires in the inventory for 25 extra health?
It depends on it depends on the play. If he's looking towards late game, he's going to try and hold on to those for a heal off potentially when that final zone starts to close. We'll have to see. A quick reminder, by the way, on the right side of your screen, a victory royale. The win is worth 10 placement points. Those are big. Top 5 is 7 points. Top 15 is 5. Top 25 is 3 points, and every single elimination for these players is an additional point. Here we go, the focus of the current map right now. A lot of players out here on the hill. Northeast side of Neo tilted, actually a pretty good spot. You have multiple slips nearby while those are still on. You have to remember those do turn off. Sky taking shots, I believe that's on DRG just to the south. No pressure applied there. He's trying to sneak any shot he can through. Actually, it's challenged. Surprises me. Doesn't go for the build there to protect and get a better spot.
Wow, that's solid damage, though.
Just go for it.
Solid damage, and look what's also on the ground right there. The legendary infantry rifle. Still can swap to that when needed. Right now, choosing to go with the spray weapon. This is a player that's close. We have a replay coming on in soon of Mega from FaZe, who played yesterday in the duos competition with Dubs. Dubs already dropped his cable. See how Mega plays this one. Gets to the opponent's box. 2 clean shots. And there it comes through. And near max materials, Slurp Juice as well as Chug Splashes will be sitting pretty with the inventory right there. The next zone did just pop on up, moving to kind of the eastern side of the current zone. And what we're seeing right now from Skite is Skite recognizes he's got extra materials back. So he's going to run back, build out a little bit, grab the excess materials, and continue to tunnel with these mats. He's also juggling items over as well to still have the ability to use these whenever he would like to wish to in these next zones. Here's everyone on the map. A rocket being fired on the far side. Bizzle there still on your screen. Commandment, Epic Whale. Prisionero still boxed up in metal just outside the zone, and Stompy, who was one of the more dominant European players in the online qualifier, still in this one, but Zayt was in the lead with Sap yesterday. 5 of the 6 games, but in the end not able to close it out. As you see, just continuing to spray, is above the damage threshold. This next threshold of players, Dr. Lupo, 50. So we're about a minute away before it activates. Bizzle with elimination though, down on the Stacey.
At this point, too, you have a lot of players. Crunch is going to start to happen. Player count starting to dwindle. The loadout here in Zayt's inventory, a single Shadow Bomb going to be used for rotation if he has to. Not quite yet, though. He's already in the next safe zone. That heavy sniper rifle we just saw moments ago, and he'll probably go for it again. He's going to knock out a wall and immediately swap to that legendary AR to try and take shots while the wall is gone, while the player may not be paying attention. This could be a big one right here. Immediate swap, a 69 shield pack, solid crit through the wall. They do box up, but it looks like at that moment he saw the box was being pressured from another player and decided to go for it.
Keep in mind,
here we go.
Keep in mind, no healing for Zayt, so you can see just how cautiously he's taking these fights.
Oh yeah.
Also today in solos, there's no longer the threat, Dr. Lupo, of the double heavy sniper. Sure, we've seen solo players try to use it to their advantage by themselves, but it just is not the same effect. Lolboom, bottom right of your screen. Zayt, top left of your screen. Both with 2 eliminations so far, and here comes Storm Surge for players pushing on in. Not a threat for Lolboom as he's 409 above, but Karhu did just go down to that Storm Surge, so an unfortunate game number 1 there, and ooh, some free shockwave grenades to pick up. Dr. Lupo will be extremely useful in these rotating zones, and oh man, Lolboom is eating the Stink Bomb. 50 damage, Dr. Lupo. Terrible, terrible spot to be in for Lolboom.
Well, Booga, solo Irishman, qualified for the World Cup here, gonna have to push on through and try and make his way to the next safe zone. Multiple ballers on the outside. He might be able to grab that one in the water right there if he sees it when he pops out. Have to wait and see. Vivid on your screen. Evil Mare still there as well. Saw him rotating in. Multiple ballers still on the field.
Look at that.
Look at the
Oh
this is like a Fortnite World Cup apartment complex. You have countless players stacked in next to each other. Bizzle going for the edit reset. Can't quite catch himself just yet.
Booga's still making plays happen. A lot of people have him high up on the leaders, and here it is again. Yarkos with the elimination from earlier on, down onto Aqua, who obviously was our Fortnite World Champion yesterday in duos. Rough start in game number 1. Bizzle, one of the most consistent and winningest Fortnite pro players of all time, Dr. Lupo. When you say a veteran in Fortnite competitive, Bizzle is at the top of that list, but here's Yarkos again, now on the high ground after that first elimination down onto Aqua, looking for more right now as he's got ultimate high.
This is one of the best spots in the game right now. We'll have to see where the map is going to rotate in north-northwest, so he's going to have to make a move soon. A very hefty weapon loadout. Not a whole ton of rotation. Does have the 2 launch pads, does have the redeploy, but those are going to leave you exposed up in the air. Little look back, King. Rotation here. The feed starting to light up. 38 players.
Oh, yeah.
And that count is going to go down, down, down. Zate eliminated by Left Eye. Colorful taking up another one out as well. King, 4 eliminations. You have to remember, placement points don't kick in until top 25, so he only has those 4. But those are 4 very, very big points. Here we go, the Storm starting to pressure players. You're going to see a lot of launch pads and redeploys coming to play, and those community movement mechanics like launch pads placed on the ground would be tough. A player actually just flew right through King's box.
That could have been bad, Dr. Lupo. That could have been real bad.
Maybe a trap play from either player. We'll have to see here. Benji Fishy in the feed taking another elimination. Top 35 now, Jacks. We're coming 30 seconds away from the next circle.
And Mr. Savage trying to contest Rux for height as they both continue to build on up. Mr. Savage goes for the shot. Rux gives it up for the moment. So game 1 right now, the height goes to Mr. Savage, but there's still a ton of time left on the low ground right now. You've got Pika week, Class week, Fledermoy's week, Tuesday week as well. Mr. Savage has shot down Rux for the moment. He still continues to keep height. Yarkos, though, looking to challenge right now. 27 players left. Placement points about to come into play.
Yarkos takes the ultimate high in the backside there. Riverside from Team Liquid flying across right to left of your screen. Multiple players. Ultimate low ground warriors down there, both in and out of ballers. Class looks like he might be looking for a campfire in the middle of it. Mr. Savage.
King had 7 limbs, and it's made it into placements. King absolutely the #1 performance so far in game 1. 120 in total HP. Can he find his limb? No! As the crowd erupts. Top 20 now, though, but King got the job done. There was 27 players left, Dr. Lupo. King eliminates the last 2 to make it a top 25 for the placement points.
Huge plays there. Waylon Kurtz going down to the feed. What a shot and a quick edit swap there. Booga showing why he's one of the most active
Top 15.
Players. Top 15. Meg with an elim. Your feed in the top left. One of the most important things to watch if you're looking for players' names. Here he's going to have to wait and bait players out. Movement now. Here it is. The Shadow Bomb for rotation. He's still got 2 more in his inventory, which this late in the game is huge. He does have 3 Shockwave grenades as well, in case height needs to be taken, or even a long-range rotation. 8 players remaining. Jack Yarkos, 4 eliminations. Everyone in here getting those placement points. Beam from above. It goes down. Yeah. No builds. Going to be tough there. Saw him picking up that elim. Booga, though, 5 right now moving forward.
But not only that, 2 Shadow Bombs left, still with Shockwave grenades too. The #1 point we've seen in competitive Fortnite this weekend, when do you use the Shockwave to go for height? It's Sam currently on height. Booga sees that. That was him taking a look for exactly where the player is. I think it's time, Dr. Lupo. No, Shadow Bomb will be used. Okay, so not quite doing it yet.
You're looking for a high ground.
Yeah, I was looking to see.
He's saving those. Don't you worry. I guarantee before too long, a player like this is going to make plays. Sitting the edge of the storm, the box up. He's going for edit shots. Big hit.
My gosh.
The outside. Booga picking up his 6th elimination. Creo, Rux, Booga all on the low ground. Bella EU.
One player to Shockwave the height. It's still Sam up top.
Still got it. Same floor as Creo. 1v1 up top. 1v1 on the bottom. Stuck in the box. Big hits. Back-to-back shots. Bugha picking up another elimination.
Bugha is insane
now. Almost going to be his game to win. We'll see here another one. Can he find the 9th elimination and the first victory royale, the World Cup solos?
Dr. Lupo, it might be time soon. It might be time soon. Bugha smiling. He's got the health advantage on Creo.
He does.
Folks, it might be time for the Shockwave play. Bugha could soar up into the sky. Go for it. Here it is. Shockwave died. Shots coming in. No elimination yet for the first game victory royale.
Oh my gosh. Confident play from Bugha. What a monster. The first victory royale.
The crowd on their feet. Bugha, calm, cool, and collected, wipes out 5 of the last top 6 players for the victory royale. What a swing of points right there, Dr. Lupo. You get the win. You get max placement points. 9 elims too. Folks, that is a statement game #1 for Bugha. And here it is again. The Shockwave up. Creo tried to prepare. You see the damage coming on through, but at that point, with that much of a health advantage, Creo stands no shot. What a brilliant ending. Talk about a great late game. Solos absolutely living up to the hype of the duo competition yesterday.
Imagine being in the World Cup finals and instead of opting for a safe, stay down the bottom, wait, bait your shots, you throw a Shockwave down and you ascend to the high ground, take over and get the victory royale.
Much deserved game 1 victory right there. The #1 thing I noticed from Bugha, in the shadow bombs, so many people worry so much about popping out of the shadow and immediately boxing and protecting themselves. Instead, Bugha winds up pushing forward, looking for where his next victim could be, and then pops out of the shadow and elims the player. It happened 3 times right there, and it was the reasons why he was able to push on through. Bugha, an incredible performance. What is that, 19 points in game number 1?
Game number 1.
I don't see how anyone's above that.
At this point, I mean, we're going to take a look exactly to see where
like I predicted it.
That falls on the leaderboards. No surprise here, a 9-point lead out of game 1. King, 7 eliminations. We saw that earlier. Sadly, goes down a little bit before those top couple placements. Psalm, Rux, Yarkos, ton of top-tier players across the board right now. But a 9-point lead after game 1 is absolutely incredible.
And you look at the leaderboard right now, a big talk of yesterday, EU versus NA. EU, why so quiet earlier in the day? NA, why so quiet at the end of the day? 8 of the 10 top players after game 1, all from the US. Here's your 11th through 20th place right now. Benji Fishy on there, Evil Mare on there as well. But a fantastic start to today, and I'm loving the energy from this crowd at the first ever Fortnite World Cup. They saw how good the competition was yesterday, and I know everyone was so excited to kick it off today with millions watching online. They saw Bugha take game #1. He's down on the floor with Jordan Fisher.
Bugha! Huge first game for the NA player. That's what you want to see. You want a health advantage at the end. 9 elims to cap off an incredible first game. What is your thought process going into the final moments of in-game, right? A 1v1 there at the end, you've got health advantage. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm pretty much low ground. I have like 200 mats, and I realized that I could probably make a play with the impulse, just go for right and just like get a big pump on him.
Amazing. Well, we saw that happen in real time. An amazing clutch for an end of a first game for Bugha. Yo, Jack, Lupo, that is exactly what you want to see, is it not?
I mean, I don't think you can really ask for much more than that. A victory royale and 9 elims. The man is so talented, has always been one of the top solo players in the North American region, and he shows it right there in game 1, and already a 9-point lead. Solid stuff.
What an incredible game out of the gate already. #1 down. We have 5 left to go. We want to take a look and see exactly how some of those pieces played out, how everything worked, and maybe a little bit of a deep dive into how some of these players play. So we're going to throw it over to Sundown at Unreal Island to take a look.
Thank you so much, Lupo and Courage. And while Booga was able to dominate the rest of the lobby, I want to take a look at one of the other most marquee and aggressive players we saw. He had the entire lobby saying, Toda salve al rey de Argentina. It is king of 9Z with an incredible 70 elimination run in 20th place. Let's take a look at some of this gameplay. So right away, you'll notice, what is he doing? He's his patented going forward, wall replace on land 123. That's going to be the theme of these clips. He doesn't miss his shots, and he's not afraid to flex either. Throwing the donkey laugh out there, throwing him a little love, saying, I don't care who you are. Now he's sitting on the 4 elims. He's in the box fight, and he's constantly looking to pick up new targets. Replaces the wall from the side, turns around, and picks up a great elimination there onto Bucky in the rotation. But now, care who you are. Now he's sitting on the 4 elims. He's in the box fight, and he's constantly looking to pick up new targets. Replaces the wall from the side, turns around, and picks up a great elimination there onto Bucky in the rotation. But now watch on the sprees on 5 elims right now. Cones himself off. Look at this. The player challenges him. He's not building. He's going at him. He says, if you want to fight me, I shoot first. I am the king. Was able to go, but unfortunately gets caught there in the rotation. But still a brilliant performance from the young Argentinian. He's looking to challenge. He's looking to frag out with the best of the best, putting himself currently sitting in the number 2 spot. He has played so absurdly well in that first game. This is what it's all about. If you can bring your aggression, what you do in the qualifiers, and take it to this stage, and you don't have nerves. If you're like Booga and say, I'm gonna go. If you're like King and say, you wanna edit, I'll shoot first. I'll take the 50 health on Elim there, and I will take the point and staying in the match. You can wait and watch me dominate. Let's get into match 2, because that first match was insane. Courage and Lupo, take it away, guys.
Sundown, thank you so much. Appreciate the quick analysis of everything that happened in the middle of that game. A lot of action here at the Fortnite World Cup solo competition. This is the last day for the entire event as well. I hope everyone has enjoyed Marshmallow's concert. We have tons of people here in the crowd. Yeah. Absolutely, it's just been ridiculous, so much fun.
My Italian family was out there, 25 people deep. They've got a full deli layout. Unfortunately, my Aunt Lorraine down in Florida, I know you're watching. Shout out, we love you, miss you. But no, they're all here for their first ever event too. It is an incredible energy in here. And you know, guys in the venue, do you guys want to see another Fortnite World Cup next year? Should we do this again?
I'm thinking, yeah, Joe.
All right, budget's approved, Epic, it's happening. But folks, let's get back into the action. Game number 2, about to begin. Booga, the superstar of Game 1, the talk on all social media with the hashtag Fortnite World Cup. What a play. The lobby is ready. The players are ready. Ladies and gentlemen in the venue, are you ready? Game 2 of the solos competition here at the Fortnite World Cup Finals starts right now.
After last game, I have a feeling you're going to see maybe potentially more contested drops and players vying for those points, seeing exactly what can be done now. Booga bringing home 9 eliminations in that first game. I think the next 2 closest were 7-4, and then everybody was below that. The Arcos, I think, having 4, King with 7. Going into game 2, yeah. Yep. Knowing that we still have 5 remaining. Knowing that based on the leaderboards from yesterday, that 17 points at one point separated first and last. And by the way, a quick note, we can see the mini-map, but I think Tfue, yeah, there it is.
There it is.
I'm pretty sure Tfue has the block all by himself. Again, Clipnote didn't want to challenge it this time.
No one nearby at all. And also on that map, look at the 2 llamas. Right outside a racetrack. It looks like one player's about to go claim him. Also, Bizzle, who basically lands in Dusty Divot uncontested, I believe already got a llama in this one. So some great movement will be up there for them. Here again, the stats for last match. First place, the Victory Royale, 19 total points because of those 9 elims. Sitting pretty. 5 games away from $3 million.
I have to say, I feel like after one game, seeing an average placement stat of first, that's something I would screenshot just to hold on to. Yeah,
the best player in the world.
I averaged first through all the games that have been played.
Here is Aqua versus Twins Aqua, as we can't stress enough, our Fortnite World Champion from yesterday in duos. Only with a common SMG is Twins, and pumps being missed left and right from Aqua. And I'm going to tell you right now, Aqua's going to be upset with himself on that one, Dr. Lupo. That was a sloppy fight from both sides. I'm going to say it right now. Those early game fights can be very, very awkward, but we also have the first elimination, what we saw earlier.
Gosh.
And it was Bizzle with the common pistol, and then says, here's your reward. A llama that was looking at a nice view from the top of Dusty Divot.
Kovacs out of his mind. By the way, a quick note here. Twins had 46 elims in his qualifying matches. That is so many eliminations to get to this point.
Yeah.
Over 10 games,
Insane.
that's huge.
And most players didn't even get to play the full 10, so you got to think Twins did pop off in his region when it was going on
right
through.
there.
Yep.
2 shadow bombs. Already has a flint knock sitting on minis and a pump. Solid early game loadout. Can need to pick up maybe one more movement ability, depending on whether or not he wants to keep the flint knock in his inventory. We'll have to see. Still hopefully looking for a slurp at some point. MQ and Mr. Savage not far from each other. Takamura, Clarity G also in Happy Hamlet. My least favorite drop, I'm going to be honest with you, but a lot of these players know exactly where the chests are. They know exactly how to get there as fast as they can. And there are so many materials down here. This also is one of the highest chest spawn counts in the entire game. This POI is insane.
Yeah, I believe 29 possible chests or something along those lines. But as MQ says, you know what, let me roll away for right now. We'll give that to Mr. Savage. Over to Snobby Shores, it's Hornet. Putting the spray down with that heavy assault rifle. Only 19 AR shots left, Dr. Lupo, so we'll have to use them wisely here. 8 players have dropped so far in the zone. We're in a southwestern side zone on this one, so already some good variation between the zones in Game 1 and Game 2. Hornet will continue to move slowly but surely over to Nyx. So again, looking at the map, looks like a lot of players still outside the zone as you'd expect, but they'll begin to rotate on through as the first storm will close.
Boy, plenty of time to make decisions. Force engagement there. The tree disappears, and that drum shotgun spewing shells out. Going to push inside the box. Can't quite get the wall if the trap was placed. No luck there. Doesn't have one in the inventory. Nyx still trying to apply as much pressure as possible without having to chew through too many rounds. Reload here. The drum shotgun. So much damage dealt with this thing so far. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes in for it here in just a second, and he does. Watching that corner, Hornet still on the defensive. Long-range spray from a drum shotgun isn't enough, but up close, the thing is very, very deadly. Nyx picking up first elimination for him in this game.
Also with the emote after the eliminations. That's 2 so far. This is spicy.
Jack, you love
I mean, I love this.
You love it.
I get like 1 elim for every 3 games. So every time I have the option to emote on an opponent, it's fantastic.
A very important note there. Nyx had the most eliminations in the online opens at 61 during his qualifying week. That's crazy too. And Nyx from Brazil. We often saw very aggressive gameplay from those players during their qualifying matches.
All they would do was kind of just stomp through their lobbies. We always talked about how insane it was. Here's the inventory for Tfue right now. 4 minis, 3 big shields,
good lord,
4 shadow bombs,
good lord,
a launch pad, a legendary infantry rifle, a blue pump shotgun. Tfue set up for the rest of this game, nearing max materials as well. This is what happens when you give this man block all by himself.
Nobody wants to challenge here, but it's one of the best loot spots in the game. Gobab's over on the right side of your screen, going to try and take that southeast corner building, see if there's anything left inside, but there's so much loot here at the block, so many materials, so many opportunities to get an advantageous position too, because you're right up the hill, like I said before, this baller spawns up there. Those are going to get grabbed pretty quick, but if they don't, if you're lucky enough, you have free rotation as well. It's also not terribly far from a slipstream to the south, just past the umbrella quarry down there. Meanwhile, Mr. Savage stuck in a 1v1 down here at Happy Hamlet. There's actually 3 players total. My apologies. You see on the mini-map in the bottom right there. They can't see those arrows, but we definitely can. And Crew and Takamura still down inside in the building. And audio cues trying to listen for each other. Takamura, you see, not really moving. Crew trying to do some wall replacing to build up a little bit of a material buffer in case fighting does happen here. I think Mr. Savage going to rotate out.
Here is Tfue with a player just in front. Looks like a fight he's potentially looking to take. Not sure exactly what the health is of the opponent just ahead, but you got to think, okay, so there is a health advantage. Maybe Tfue did a bit of damage as Kluja will begin to heal on up. So it does look like Tfue damaged the player, thought about challenging, but for right now, we'll just box for a moment. They are very, very soon going to have to move towards the zone.
If you're watching online and you get an opportunity here to clip some shots from Tfue, it's going to be very accurate. We've seen it before, and we'll see him again with that infantry rifle. One of the best in the game.
That was kind of greedy from Tfue. He has a ton of materials. I think he didn't expect his opponent to challenge and go for a shot, but because he tries to save a couple walls of wood, has to pop one of those big shields, and Kluja says, you know what? I'm out of here, and the zone's already there, so Tfue has a long trek ahead of him. Might have to decide if he's going to use a launch pad here. Probably not, as he does have the slipstreams down below, but still will take some damage from the storm.
If there is a rift spawn up at the burger, he can take the zip across, jump off midway through, and go down and grab it. We'll see.
Booga eliminated to start off this game in 90th place. So our game 1 winner out early on, which means that that 9-point lead will surely be cut down as this one goes on. Quick thing I want to remind everyone of, yesterday we were nearing the #1 trend in the world on Twitter. I'm going to challenge all of you right now. Use the hashtag Fortnite World Cup across everywhere. Send in how you're watching today. Let me know who you think's going to win. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup everywhere from the millions of you all tuning on in. Can't stress that enough. Let everyone know that the largest event, one of the largest events of all time, concludes today with a $30 million prize pot in total throughout the weekend.
Keenstar holding an edit here. Stuck in a little stalemate. He's going to hold that side, look for the shot. Can't quite find it. Player backs out of that. Not fast enough to get
Mr. Savage goes down to Mega.
Big names eliminated early in this game 2, the World Cup solos. Keenstar holding this edit yet again, just trying to wait and watch to see if he's going to spot this player make a move. This might be an opportunity to make a play here. Twins kind of baiting the ultimate high ground here. Quick little resets, can go for a wall replace. Does get it. Pressure applied, gonna jump up. He built the ramp preemptively to defend against any shots. Here it is, a shot from the side, does make contact. Twins down to 90 total HP. Big hit there with a shot. He can try and rotate up on the outside, getting pressured against the edge of the storm, and a build off is kind of the only answer at this point. Quick, and it's down, doesn't quite find that the player inside ahead of him has the lead. Another big hit, 14 HP left for Twins. A build fight is all he's got left. He could shadow and try and get away, but if the player inside is smart enough, Keenstar knows exactly where to shoot. Twins is going to go down. We'll see here. One pump is all it takes, though, with this thing. 150 HP.
Oh my gosh.
They're almost going down there. No shield remaining. A back and forth between these two titans of Fortnite. And there it is. Keenstar finding the lead with the shotty there, and Twins eliminated.
Move towards Storm Surge kicking on in. I do want to point out where this next zone is. Spoke to production. We'll bring that back in for you all to see just how insane zone number 2 will be for everyone on this map.
Actually, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, because they have a long, long run ahead. Look at that.
All the
a third
way
of
to
the
the
zone
south side.
Off the map.
Not only are you forced all the way to the bottom of the map, you got nothing on the south end of the safe zone. The players going to get compressed together. I would expect going into circle 3 or 4, you're going to see a very low player count in comparison to last game. We're already down to 75, and Storm Surge now getting ready to kick in. You have 5 players that need to go down before damage starts to go out to those that have not dealt enough of it.
Yep.
Multiple players bunkering up here at Happy Hamlet. Not a whole lot of real estate left. Shots going out there. You heard that minigun, one of the very, very good weapon for applying pressure to structures, especially when you see other players are taking shots at the same target. Let it fight in the top left of your screen there. Replay between Niddle, opponent inside the box. Caught above, but headed down. Can't quite find the first shot. Follows through with a second, third, fourth, and the elimination.
He had 1 health left. If you looked, after the 50 health was earned, he was stuck at 50, meaning he was under 1 HP. He had effectively 0.9% health. And goes down right there. His opponent can't win the fight as he's rewarded. Nakamura on your screen, 179 total HP, and that's a tough battle you have here, Dr. Lupo. Do you use your last healing item in the big shield for only 21, or do you hope maybe 179 health is enough for the next fight? It's a double-edged sword, a tough decision to make. Storm Surge still active. 4 more players need to go down before it ends.
Trying to get the wall there, can't quite find it. Quick edit up and out.
Solid
Gonna make the rotation away. waiting. This is just an opportunity. He's basically trying to bait to see if the player inside is gonna head out. Shockwave, Lecce hits the tree. It might cost him. Pressure being applied now. The 1v1 not over quite yet. Combat shotgun from above right here will be very effective. The spread from a top-down position like this is like a guaranteed crit. Here we go. Shot from behind, can't quite make contact yet.
Zone now hitting for 2 as well.
Player's gonna have to go for it very soon. Here we go. Another Shockwave to push away. Storm Surge is active, he's way above, and those bandages are gonna be key to survival. We'll see. I guess the swap in position. But she took the high ground temporarily here.
They're at a point now where they basically just, one of them needs to get in a fight. One of them needs to win this fight if they want to survive for the 50 extra health. Lecce slowly taking this damage, 2 ticks every second, and it's going quick. Dr. Lupo now down to just 12 HP. This could be done here momentarily. A shot, no! Moffin wins it with the quick shotgun to the dome, and you see, using 4 bandages, the 50 health puts him back up to 100. It should be enough to move on in. Storm Surge now over as well, and the next zone just popped up, and it's even more southwest. Tfue still alive in this game. So far, 0 eliminations, still though with this magnificent inventory for the late game.
I just want to say that the bait outside in the storm, forcing your opponent to take damage knowing that they're not healing through their own HP, basically a way of weakening them, and then you choose the time to engage means you don't even have to be as active as before. That shotgun, Tfue take a couple shots on that player on rotation with the Shadow Bomb. A little more difficult to see them since they're basically invisible. They are a shadow.
Yeah.
Is that why they call it a Shadow Bomb, Jack?
Not entirely sure yet, as I'm still figuring that out. Tfue not safe in the next zone. Is he going to use the launch pad? Is he going to try to use whatever his opponent places down right here?
Oh, no damage being applied. Maybe an attempt to try and bait. Doesn't put down that launch pad. Here we go. Thought for a second he might go for the zip. Chooses not to. Flying past multiple players in
Shadow Bomb
move. And here we go. Shots from the backside. Pressure being applied on Tfue, and he's going to have to box up for just a second. There it is. Shadow Bomb and door edit. He'll make a move on the outside. He is in the shadow form still, and you can keep this by jumping against the wall.
That was not a good Shadow Bomb, I can tell you right now.
Gotta be disappointed there. Big hit from above, down to 55 HP. Tfue, the edit from the outside, and he is eliminated by King.
And look who it is again. King, the player with 7 eliminations in game number 1, keeps the aggression going. In game 2, the heavy sniper that immediately destroys that wall and is rewarded with incredible loot, almost max builds as well. Tfue, a very quiet start to today's World Cup competition.
Here's that elimination on Tfue, shot from above. A little bit of shield damage, but a big hit from the outside, using a heavy snipe to take that wall almost instantly. Very intelligent play there. Again, more aggressive players we've seen thus far.
Yep, and it's working out up to this point.
Oh my gosh, this is back down at Happy Hamlet, right on the edge. So many players on the east side of the safe zone, and this is a far southwest. Remember, about a third of it is in the water right now. Nobody's on the island, the outside. We're going to see where this goes next. There it is, focused just to the west. That submarine atop the ice mountain right there.
But look at how many players are stacked on the right side of that zone. So if you're currently in this next zone, on that north or east side, you can put a ton of damage downrange as everyone has to move right at you. You see Karu does go down to Diego GB in your elimination feed. Drop coming on through. Crew boxed up, Creo boxed up. Rux under 100 health, has to play this one safely, but they are so far on the east side of the zone. The Storm is going to move quite quick, Ben. And they've got to be ready for it. There's already the first shockwave used. Rux trying to shoot them from behind. Not able to get elimination there. Class so far away. Will use the launch pad and just begin to move towards this circle.
You have to think at this point with both placement and eliminations before too long here. King maybe taking an opportunity to push into the first place position on the leaderboards, especially with Bugha going down so early in this game, 90th place.
I love this outfit from Rux right now.
He's a dinosaur.
No, I'm talking about his real life outfit.
He's a dinosaur.
He's set up to play in the Fortnite World Cup at 1, and then he's got a dinner date at 7:30. So good for him.
Listen, class is everything, Jack.
I mean, the guy looks great. I'm going to give a shout out for that. Best dressed, 2 extra points. A Fortnite World Cup champion right there, Rux. But
only a 6 damage tag from the side there. Doesn't have to panic too much. That I would panic a little more about.
When you have no movement. When you have no movement in that part of the zone, it's literally exactly what I just spoke about. King on your screen, but also something we haven't spoken a lot about, Reverse 2K. Duo with Ninja, unable to qualify together for this competition, but did make it into solos, and now seeing what he can do by himself. Was on the far side of this zone, so also not a fun spot by any means.
Quick note, King currently has the highest damage in the match, 574, meaning, like I said, that aggressive gameplay. Still in it, still trying to win, still trying to get the beat on players, and a quick beam on Aspect up the ramp, caught off guard by an edit play. A shot through the wall, gets the follow through with the edit. Nate goes down. He is playing out of his mind right now.
King reminds me of like Vinny and Zextro back from the earlier duo competitions when they would just try to fight anyone they saw. King, 7 eliminations in game 1, now 4 eliminations in game number 2, and there's still 42 players remaining. And there is only one person in the next zone that just popped up, Dr. Lupo. It is as far west as possible, and look at those arrows frantically moving on over as everyone knows prime real estate is available. This is one of the most insane zones I've seen. Look at, no one's in it. No one's in it.
Quick couple notes about King, one of our players from Argentina. He is the minimum age required in order to play in the Fortnite World Cup. 13-year-old savant.
Wait, King is 13?
He is indeed.
My goodness.
Jack is 11 million times better than both of us combined.
Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous to think about. Cosmic on the height. Vivid is still alive in this game. Artbro is still alive in this game. Drakton's still alive in this game. What does King use here? It looks like a place to launch pad, and what you saw right there, a ramp placed backwards to bounce off of it so he doesn't go all the way up and basically a sitting duck up in the air. Kind of flows quite quickly towards the opposing player. King, imagine winning $3 million as a 13-year-old. I think I would have bought like a Razor scooter when I was that age.
Probably.
And, well, don't really know where I was going with that one, but to be honest, there's going to be a lot of ice cream.
Surprised that food's the topic here. The push through the air. King getting aggressive into the next safe zone. Here we go. Going to have to hold a wall for just a moment. Little drop down. I like this repositioning. He doesn't want to remain on the same elevation. He's got multiple floors now in case he needs to take a drop there. Yarkos gets beamed from the side. Limited by Scalar. Arkham in the feed, pick it up, and Elam on Bella EU. Dubs, Bucky, multiple players still in this game on your screen. Clicks taking out Cease in the feed.
29 players left is the big thing to note. Four
away.
More from placement points, which if you make it to the top 25, instantly 3 points earned. That is on the mind of every player still remaining, and the zone's still moving west now.
Shots through. Minigun, a quick swap there, picks the shotty back up. Interesting little play on the fly there from Zell. Trying to do it for just enough damage to the wall. Here we go. Shockwave. Gonna look for optimal placement. Maybe a little bit of time to disrupt the Shockwave into a Shadow Bomb. 9,000 IQ.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Get all the way across the map and take as high on the mountain as possible. Very excellent play there for positioning the King, the star of the show. Thus far for game 2, 5 eliminations. We are in the top 25 for placement now, so those points go out. That's got to push King even higher on the board.
Yeah, King was already surging towards the top of our leaderboards. Now could very well be after this game. King spraying on through with the submachine gun. Players moving as fast as they can over this mountain. The left side of your screen, now the full screen. Emku still moving through. Look at how fast he can tunnel. Benji Fishy's still alive in this game, just took down Drakons. Down the hill we go. Rogue Shark on height right now, but we'll need to waterfall down for a moment. Vivid still followed on up. King down to just 40, 30, 20, 15 HP. Under 10, no, still 17 HP. Will only be at 42 effective health. I mean, if he gets any further than this, it'll be an absolute miracle. And no, down goes King, but I think one of the crowd favorites beginning to emerge today. Fantastic performance at this point. Benji Fishy goes down as well.
A little bit of a crowd building up behind him. Dubs still in, a baller at the bottom.
Top 15.
Star sitting on 2 eliminations in this. The entire field is at the bottom of your screen on the left with Road Shark remaining up top, forced into the drop. Let's get away, looks like a Shadow Bomb to save from any fall damage. Vivid beamed on the rotation up to the ultimate high ground.
Vivid's on height.
Still there too.
Vivid's on height.
Has an opportunity here, can capitalize and take shots on all these players rotating. At this point, Vivid's best bet is to force players out of ballers into fights. You don't want to let them remain inside and safe. If you pop them out, it may be an exposed position. Other players will take shots, and that's going to get you in a better place.
Look at the ballers. The ballers beginning to scale the mountain. Vivid, I think, still has high ground. Has time to pop a mini by chance? Nope, nothing as of yet. Now the fight for height begins. Vivid building out of arc from in your elimination feed now into our top 10. Issa, the controller god as many regard him as, takes down Sam. Another one onto Thatch too. So Issa from Europe getting involved in this game as well. Vivid and Rogue Shark all the way on high ground. Still multiple ballers in play. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition. This is game 2 of 6, and oh no! Vivid has lost the high ground, but he says no! This is mine, young man! And takes it right back. No mats! No mats! No life! Vivid is out of this game. But he got the limb. He got the limb on the Road Shark.
He's at 2 eliminations, sitting in the middle of the pack right now. 7 players remaining. The end of game 2 right before your eyes, folks. 120 total HP. He can't spend any time out of the zone right now. Player going down inside the box. Can't quite get in. One right behind outside. Can't find a beat. Issa goes down, placed in 4th. A 1v1. Dubs, the ultimate high ground. The crowd cheering behind him, looking to see if he can capitalize on this advantageous position.
Down low, it's Dubs versus Skite.
A little bit of a build-off between the two, layering defensively against each other, but Dubs,
no builds.
One build. The flint knock to save him on the drop might be the play, just outside ahead of the build. Maybe can catch himself.
Oh my gosh,
Around inside the storm. This might be it. Shockwave into the flint knock, into the safe zone, doubling back, another one, a valiant effort. He's got to find a bead, but he won't be able to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, game 2 goes to Skite.
Skite had 27 health left, 8 HP. If he took one hit from the storm, he was dead, but he clutches on up. We heard in the interview earlier, he said, I'm gonna play my game, win, do what I do best, and Skite does it there. Dubs, what a valiant effort. Look at that. Look at Skite's HP. Literally one storm tick would have been enough, but Dubs had no mats left and unfortunately didn't wind up making it up that mountain. Skite just wins, and there you see the celebration. Game 2 goes to EU as Skite comes out on top.
Single elimination, 11 points for Skite. Gonna be great for the leaderboard. We'll have to see exactly where they end up. But a big, just honestly, a maximum effort from Dubs was insane to try and stay inside. Absolutely incredible. Here's your leaderboard as it stands right now. First place being held by Booga. 9 elims, 19 points from that first game. No showing in the second game, but it's still enough to keep him all the way at the top. But King slowly climbing his way up to the top, just behind now by only 1 point.
Folks, King can't drive because he's 13, but he can win $3 million today. When you talk about lives being changed, it's what the Fortnite World Cup Finals is all about. And now our crazy 9-point lead is down to just 1, 1st through 10th within arm's reach. Our top 20 absolutely there as well. This is still anybody's game.
Saying the spread between 1st and 20th still very, very close. Anybody can climb all the way to the top in an instant, as we've seen countless times of the 10 weeks of qualifying. All the way to New York City for the Fortnite World Cup, and this is the final day. Jack
Unbelievable play from here. King is just racking up elims. Again, no placement points in this game, but he still pushed himself within distance of Bugha, who Bugha went down earlier there. He took out Clicks as well in the box. And he's taken out Aspect, he's taken out Tfue, he's taken out Clicks. These are some of the best box fighters in the world. But now, King, he's saying, hey, I'm here at the Fortnite World Cup. I am one of the best box fighters in the world as well. So guys, that's King, the story so far. He's climbing the ranks, he's inching ever so closer to Bugha. Gentlemen, back to you.
Great stuff, Bala, and yeah, a fantastic breakdown of how King has made it up to our second place spot so far. We were only a third of the way through today's competition on the road to crowning a Fortnite World Champion. Thoughts after games 1 and 2?
I love to see the aggressive gameplay from King and others. Those kind of plays you don't often see in the Fortnite World Cup or really any competitive play. A lot of players are waiting for those opportunities to maybe get shots on players that are moving, that kind of thing. It's been great to see. And obviously a crowd favorite here, as we've heard people erupt every time he pushes into another box. What about you thus far?
Crazy action. I'm really interested to see how these different landings continue. We've already seen games 1 to game 2, people switch up their spots, land at different areas, and sometimes it's come back to bite them. All I know is, though, that's going to do it for us two for right now. We'll be back later today, but down on the floor we have Zeke with some more information on our players.
Thank you so much, Lupo Courage. Man, what an insane first 2 games here on the first day, or the final day of Solos competition. Bugha with insane shockwave play to give him the high ground. And then here, Sky, his positioning on point, which gave him the win over Dubs. I mean, you guys, and of course, the Marshmallow performance. If you guys are here, how have you enjoyed the day so far? What do you think? Some of you are still sleeping. Guys, what do you think? This is it, the final day! There it is. You're awake. I appreciate that. Now, of course, guys, we've been getting through this Fortnite action all weekend long. But don't forget, we actually had creative happening earlier on Friday. Now, if you remember, there was a certain team captain with a great crew. They won, and they became the first ever Fortnite World Cup creative champions. And that was the Fish Fam, led by team leader Scissors. Now, we felt we probably should go ahead and check up on him, see how things are going for him. So let's go ahead and do that.
Kitty Plays, and we're here in the player lounge right now, joined by the winners of the Creative World Cup. First of all, congratulations. Now, Scissors, how does it feel now to solidify that title?
It's kind of awesome considering I love creative mode. It's thriving, it's awesome, I love it.
Now, Tyler, did you ever believe that you guys would secure the position here today?
Yeah, I always knew we had it in the bag. You know, we're the week 1 qualifiers. We're the most stacked team. There was no competition. Just when the last map was a death run, I knew we had that in the bag. We got some good players here. I knew Zan would clutch up, and he did just that.
You could tell he lifted the finger. He said, we need 1 coin. Just grab this coin right down here. If he can do this without being eliminated.
There it is. The win. Oh, he missed it, but gets it with the trap trigger.
You realize that one jump won this group here an extra $1 million. It's unreal.
Like, if you want to practice with death runs, you need to like do it slow. Don't go in blindly. Like, try and like change everything you do every time you fail.
Suzu, can you see yourself doing even more with creative? I mean, the success of today. Will you continue to go and play creative maps?
I think I would definitely stay consistent with creative because I feel like there's a lot of potential in creative still. And yeah, definitely this is my thing.
But I want to go down the line and see what each of you guys plan on doing with that prize.
I'll probably end up like saving most of the money, maybe like some investments.
He's 18 and he just won $336,000. What are you going to do with the prize?
Rent? Rent. Yeah, I think rent.
I'm gonna be responsible. I'm gonna save my money.
I am gonna be responsible and probably just invest most of it and try and get even more money back.
All right, guys, congratulations again. Absolutely outstanding job. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I cannot wait to see what the future of Creative Fortnite looks like.
Once again, massive props to Scissors and the Fish Fam. They worked as a unit, and that's what got them the dub in the end. The grandfather of creative shows up huge here on this stage. Now, of course, guys, we know you want to get back into games. I want to get back into games too, but first, let's just make sure they give a little bit of a break to the players. We'll hop back in as soon as we can. Now, I did talk about creative a little bit, but don't forget, we also had that celebrity pro-am. Players and people from different walks of life all came together to take part on this stage and play for charity. Now, of course, we had Ninja and Marshmallow, your 2018 Pro-Am defending champions. That faced off against Airwalks and RL Grime, your Summer Block Party Pro-Am champions. And the winners in the end were actually Grimes and Airwalks. They are two-time Pro-Am champions. So let's actually check in with them and see how they're doing.
I'm here in the player lounge right now, joined by our Pro-Am winners, RL Grimes and Airwalks. Wasn't totally expecting you'd win 2 in a row. Can you walk me through those final moments?
Felt really good. I don't think I would have won if I didn't have him.
Now, RL Grime, you were holding your own, you were keeping up, you were staying alive, you were getting eliminations. How did you change your playstyle from last Pro-Am to this Pro-Am?
I think we learned a lot from the last one, just that you focus on late game a little bit, and I just sort of let him lead the way and made it happen.
How did it feel to play with a potential World Cup duo winner?
It's amazing. I'm actually going to come tomorrow and sit in the stands and cheer for my man Airwalks, yeah.
Maybe make an Airwalks sign and wave it in the air?
Maybe a 98 bot sign. I'll hold it up.
Good luck on the event tomorrow. Congratulations on winning. Congratulations on winning. Incredible, incredible gameplay throughout Fortnite World Cup Pro-Am.
Man, Grimes and Airwax coming in clutch. Very happy for those two, but I'm actually happy for this guy right here. This is one half of your Duos World Champions. This is Nyrox. I need you guys to make some noise right here, right now. Show him that you love him. How does that make you feel? You got all these crowds.
That's great. Feels amazing.
There you go. Now, Nyrox, let's chat a little bit, right? Because you played yesterday, like I talked about, in the duo competition. Your partner, Aqua, is actually playing today in the solo competition. So what advice did you give him heading into these games?
I told him earlier this morning that he should stick with the plan we had yesterday. And even if he has a bad start, he can still make a comeback like we did. And he can still take the trophy home.
That's pretty good advice, pretty good advice. Now, you're already a world champion. You've got the title. So how does it feel now that you've got this title, you're here, you get to experience this and watch the solo competition, you know, how are you feeling after all that?
I mean, it feels amazing winning the duo, even though I want to compete in solo as well. But hopefully this gives me confidence in solos, which makes me do better in solo next tournament.
Okay. One final question for you. This morning, you know, obviously yesterday was a huge day. You had a night to kind of sleep on it, and then you woke up the next morning. Did it sink in? You know, how did you feel the next morning when you're like, man, I'm a world champion?
It feels surreal. It doesn't really feel like I've won anything because it was so big. It was almost too big to imagine, but yeah, it feels amazing.
Well, again, massive congrats to you. One half of our world champions. Again, give him some love, Fortnite fam. Thank you again, Nyrox. Appreciate your time. Now, there's actually another player we want to talk about real quick, and that is Skite. He just won this second game, so let's see what he's got to say.
I'm Skite from Lustream. I'm French, coming from Paris. I've been preparing the finals by playing customs and playing every day with friends or mates. It was hard in the beginning because my wrist was a little bit broken, so I just wait and then I qualified for the boss in the last 2 weeks. I definitely want to thank my team because they support me a lot when I was playing qualifier. In here we are more aggressive and NA is a little bit slower, so we try to play a little bit safe. I think maybe Zayt is really good and I want to take him down. I don't think playing in Stadium will affect my my gameplay because I already did it. I love everyone and I'm just excited to play.
There you go. There you have it. I mean, Sky, this guy is amazing. I'm a big fan. Sky, you know this. I'm a huge fan. Now, guys, there's so many players. There's 100 here that I wish we could spend so much time talking to every single one individually. But let's actually dive in specifically to one, and that's a Mr. Vivid, you know, Mr. Clutchman himself. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him there, but don't worry, he's going to bring some more heat. We actually had time to spend with him and his hometown, learn more about him, so let's watch this together.
I live in South Jersey in a small town. Population of under 1,000. You see a couple of cars pass by your house. It's quiet, so it's nice. Here, I played Fortnite at the highest